Good morning, grade 3. Today we're going to complete the lessons that we take before, the circulatory system. If you remember, we said that the circulatory system is very important because it transports the digested food, oxygen and water to all the cells, and it will transport the wastes produced by the cell to a special organ to get rid of them, and it maintains our body healthy. And we said before that our circulatory system consists of heart, blood vessels, and blood. And we said about the heart that the heart, it's a muscular hollow organ that about the size of your fist, and is found in the chest cavity between the two lungs, and is inclined towards the left. The function of the heart is to pump the blood all over the body, and it consists of 4 chambers, which are 2 upper atria and 2 lower ventricle. And between each atrium and ventricle, we have a valve or like a door that allows the blood to move from atrium to ventricle and prevent its returning back. And between the left side and the right side, we have a wall that prevents mixing of blood. As you see here in this picture, we have the left atrium, the right atrium, the left ventricle, and the right ventricle. Look, the left atrium, the right atrium, the left ventricle, and the right ventricle. And we have here the valve between them. And between the left side and the right side, we have the wall. And you can notice that there is a tube that extends from the heart. This tube is what we called blood vessels. So the blood vessels, it's a tube that the blood will move inside it. Look, the blood vessels, we said that the blood flows inside the body through a network of blood vessels. So they are the path of blood throughout the body. So, as I told you before, the blood vessels, it's like a small tubes where the blood will move inside it. We have 3 types of these blood vessels, which are arteries, veins, and blood capillaries. Again, we have 3 types of blood vessels, which are what? Arteries, veins, and blood capillaries. First, the arteries. The arteries like the aorta or the pulmonary artery. These arteries are thick blood vessels. They are thick, which come out from the heart. It will take the blood from the heart. Okay, it will, as you can see here, it's coming from the 2 ventricles. It's opening from the 2 ventricles. So, the arteries are thick blood vessels that come out from the heart, exactly from what? From the 2 ventricles. It's coming out from the 2 ventricles. Like what? As we said before, like the pulmonary artery and the aorta. What is the function of these arteries? It will take the blood from the heart or from the 2 ventricles to all the body parts. So the blood that's found in the heart, the arteries like the aorta and the pulmonary artery will take this blood and will give it to all the body parts. What are the properties of the arteries? They are large, wide at the beginning. They are thick at the beginning or large at the beginning, at the heart, and then they become smaller. So it's large, then it becomes smaller, and end with a network of blood capillaries near the cell. So the arteries that's coming from the heart are what? Are large and wide. Then it will become smaller. So if I'm gonna draw it for you, first it's large, then while it's entered inside our body, it become Look, it will become smaller. And it will end with what? End with blood capillaries. When it becomes small, we called it blood capillaries. So, the arteries are large and wide at the beginning, at the heart, and they will become smaller, and it will end with a small vessels. We called it what? We called it blood capillaries. And all the arteries carry blood rich in oxygen or oxygenated blood. So any artery inside your body, from up to down, this carry oxygenated blood or carry blood with oxygen, except only one, which is this one we called it pulmonary artery. The pulmonary artery carry blood rich in carbon dioxide or deoxygenated blood. Again, all the arteries carry oxygenated blood except the pulmonary artery, which carry blood rich in carbon dioxide or deoxygenated blood. So again, we said that the blood vessels, we have three types of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and blood capillaries. The arteries, they coming out from the heart or from the two ventricles. They are like the aorta and the pulmonary artery. They will take the blood from the heart to all the body parts, and they are large and wide at the beginning, then become smaller, and it will end with a very small vessels that we call blood capillaries, and all of them carry oxygenated blood except the pulmonary artery. All of them carry oxygenated blood except the pulmonary artery. The pulmonary artery carry deoxygenated blood. What's mean by deoxygenated blood? It's mean blood with carbon dioxide. Number two, we have the veins. The veins, it's like the pulmonary veins. It's like the superior and inferior vena cava. So those are thin blood vessels that will open in the heart. What's mean by opening in the heart? This means it's getting the blood from outside and will give it to the heart. So it open in the heart. It will deliver something to the heart. Okay? And it open in which part of the heart? It open in the atrium or in the two atria. As you see here, it open or it will deliver the blood to the atria. So the veins, they are thin blood vessels that open in the heart exactly in the two atria. Like what? Like I said before, superior and inferior vena cava and pulmonary vein. Superior and inferior vena cava and pulmonary vein. What is the function of these veins? They carry the blood from all the body parts to the heart. So it is the opposite of the arteries. The veins will take the blood from all the body and will give it to the heart. Again, it will take the blood from all the body and give it to the heart. They begin in the form of blood capillaries, and then they are collected together, then become larger till reaching the heart. As the veins take the blood from the cells or from the body parts, so its beginning is from the cell, and they are small in the beginning. They are very small in the beginning. And then they will become larger and then go to the heart. So it is opposite to the arteries too. So the veins begin with the blood capillaries, which are a very small blood vessels, and then they become larger. Begin small or begin with the blood capillaries and become larger. The atria will receive the blood from the veins. while ventricles pump the blood throughout the arteries. The arteries end with blood capillaries, while the veins begin with blood capillaries. So the atria will receive the blood from the veins. So the veins will give the blood to the atrium, and the ventricle will give the blood to the arteries. The arteries end with blood capillaries, and the veins begin with blood capillaries. So let's again look. The arteries, they are thick and come out from the ventricle. It will take the blood from the ventricle or from the heart to all the body parts. They are large and wide and then become smaller and end with the blood vessels, with the blood capillaries. And all of them carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery, which carry deoxygenated blood. But the veins, they are thin and they open in the heart. It will take the blood from all the body parts and give it to the heart. They begin thin, or they begin with the blood capillaries, and then it become larger. And all the veins carry deoxygenated blood. All the veins carry deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. So all the veins carry deoxygenated blood except the pulmonary vein. So if you can see here, the veins will give the blood to the atria, or the left atrium and the right atrium. And then the blood will move from the atrium to the ventricle. And then the ventricle will push the blood to the arteries. Again. The veins will take the blood from the body parts and give it to the atrium. And then the atrium will give the blood to the ventricle. And then the ventricle will push the blood to the arteries, and the arteries will take the blood to all the body parts. Okay, we said that if you can see the arteries, they are thick at the beginning and then become smaller and end with blood capillaries. And the vein start with the blood capillaries and then become large. So the blood capillaries, first, they are a network of tiny blood vessels. They are very small blood vessels. Okay? And they have a thin wall. And it's found all over our body. We have many blood capillaries. So they are a network of tiny blood vessels. They are very small and they have a thin wall, and they are located or found around all our body. And as you can see here in the picture, it connects between the what? Between the end of the arteries and the beginning of the veins. Again, it connects between the ends of the arteries and the beginning of the veins. And they have, as you said before, they have thin wall. Why they have this thin wall? They have the thin walls to allow the blood that's inside it to deliver the digested food and oxygen to the body cells and carry carbon dioxide and wastes out of the body cells. So the blood capillaries are very important, and they have this thin wall because they will take the blood with the digested food and oxygen and give it to the cell. And then it will collect the wastes and carbon dioxide outside the cell to get rid of them. So why the blood capillaries have a thin wall? They have a thin wall to allow the blood to deliver the digested food and oxygen to the body cells and carry carbon dioxide and wastes outside the body. Okay, here you have a comparison between the arteries and the vein and the blood capillaries. First, the arteries, the location. As we said before, they are thick blood vessels come out from the heart, like the pulmonary artery and the aorta. But the veins are thin vessels that open in the heart, and it's like the superior and inferior vena cava and pulmonary vein. The blood capillaries, they are a network of tiny blood vessels with a thin wall around the cells or around the body. The function of the artery is to carry the blood from the heart to all the body parts. The veins, it will carry the blood from the body parts to the heart. And the blood capillaries, they have thin wall. Why? To deliver the food and the oxygen to the cells and carry carbon dioxide and wastes outside the cells. What are the properties of the arteries? They are large and wide at the beginning, then become smaller and end with the blood capillaries. But the veins, they began with blood capillaries and then become larger. The blood capillaries, they connect the end of the arteries with the beginning of veins. What is the type of the blood that is moving in each of them? In the arteries, all the arteries carry oxygenated blood or blood with oxygen, except the pulmonary arteries that carry deoxygenated blood or blood rich in carbon dioxide. But all the veins is opposite, carry deoxygenated blood, except the pulmonary vein that carry oxygenated blood or blood rich in oxygen. I hope that you understand this lesson or this part of the lesson, and we're gonna complete the next time, inshallah. Thank you. Bye.